and the team who I think he will go to if he was to leave Golden State would be the Portland Trailblazers. I've been saying this for a while.
Yeah, because Dame wants him.
Dame has been hinting at this for the end of time. And I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. He would be, imagine Dame and Draymond together. Like if Draymond does exactly what he's done with Steph over the years, you know, setting all those screens, being the main ball handler while Dame kind of plays like the 2 on offense, then Jesus Christ, that Portland team would be pretty insane. Like you got, you know, Draymond playmaking to Nurkic, Damian Lillard, Simons, you know, all those type of players. I just think that would be a really, really good thing to see. And Jeremy Grant. No, not enough people remember Jeremy Grant is on that team right
Jeremy
now.
Grant.
I know Portland had a bad off season. They had a really bad off season, in fact. But if they can next season bring in Draymond Green and keep building this supporting cast, they're going to be a pretty decent team.
I think for any team looking to pay that amount of money for Draymond Green, you have to be absolutely sure of the offensive players that you have around him. Like, it's cool enough to say, oh yeah, you can put him with Damian Lillard, but who's your secondary scorer there? Do you think Anthony Simons is going to step up? Because to be honest, as good as Jeremy Green is, and as much as I love him as a player, and he's just not good enough to be a second option on a championship caliber team. Third option, yeah, but you'd have to have a lot of trust in Anthony Simons, or you could package him with maybe Shaden Sharp and whatever other draft picks you have and try and get a bona fide second offensive star. But
yeah,
you'd have to be real confident.
The idea with this Portland team right now seems to be going to want to go really small ball because, I mean, Yusuf Nurkic, let's face the facts, is going to play half the year and the other half of the year is going to be spent in the hospital. I think we can all agree with that. And then other than that, do you know who their backup center is? Do you want to have a guess who the Portland Trailblazers backup center is?
Oh, Jesus. CJ Ellaby, even though he's like a shooting guard.
No, that's not it. Have another guess, mate.
Oh, Greg Brown.
No, me! Because I've got no backup center! I'm their backup center! Their backup center is me or Damian Lillard next season, and I'm calling it right now.
5'9" backup center in the NBA.
Yes. Either that or they're calling up Eric Bledsoe, who they waived just to play center, because that boy is dummy thick, and he might be able to play that center position. But the realistic thing is, they could actually do some type of small ball thing, which would be kind of interesting. Like, you could have Dame at the point, you know, Simons at the 2, Sharp at the 3, Grant at the 4, and then at the 5, you'd have, you know, of course, the main man himself, who they would then go on and sign in Draymond Green. But how that would work, obviously you couldn't start it. I think Jeremy Grant would move to the small forward and they'd start Nurkic. But when those games that Nurkic is injured and all that type of stuff, I think it would run fine. And they're theoretically one of the only teams I could see Draymond Green going to. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't see the Miami Heat or any of those teams making sense. I don't see a team like Memphis or New Orleans, any of those young and upcoming teams that could be looking to offer someone a max soon. It doesn't make any sense for him to go there. To me, it's Golden State or I think Portland at this point. And if I was him, I would look at Portland because you could take a pay cut because you know the situation would be good in Golden State, but there could be a lot going on in Portland right now. I just think they had a pretty rough off season, but there's definitely still building blocks there for them to try and make the play in this season and make a playoff run. And then of course, build heavy, I think, till next season. Am I wrong for saying that or?
No, I can't think of another team that would be in a better position. Just like I said, you'd have to be hoping that Simons turns into that second offensive option, or you'd be making another trade. But if you're taking on Draymond, you have to have a lot of the things that Portland have, like the superstar offensive talent and the shooting, which is what they actually do have. And he would obviously help their defense and playmaking situations. So I can't think of another team that's more well set up, obviously, other than the Warriors. But I can't think of another one.
Does he leave the Warriors? or do you see this getting done and he gets signed on the max? Because it seems like he made it pretty clear that he won't settle for anything less than a max. He doesn't even want to take a pay cut.
I think Golden State might eventually cave in unless there's no other interest from other teams. But like you said, the fact that Lillard has said that he wants to play with him openly probably means that Portland would get pressured into giving him an overpay, which means that Golden State would have to cave in. So,
yep.
I think it'll get done.
So let's just say this happened, because let's be honest here, they're probably not going to be able to get a deal done just from signing him, right? Like, he's on way too much money. It's probably just not going to work. What would the trade, therefore, look like for you? Because if I'm looking at the salary cap right now for Portland, they have Grant on 20 million, Hart on 12 million, Lillard on 40. Nurkic, I think's on like 20 million now, something ridiculous like that. And Simons is on like 20 million now as well. What does a trade look like for this like to actually happen? Because I don't see anything on that roster that immediately jumps out at the Golden State Warriors. Josh Hart would be cool.
Not at all.
You know, he would be awesome. Jeremy Grant would be an awesome one for them as well. But worst case scenario is for this Trailblazers team is that Jeremy Grant leaves in the offseason. That would be the really bad one. And that's how I know Jeremy Grant is getting a max, I reckon. Like, I literally think Jeremy Grant is getting the max. No, just because he's gonna threaten to go.
True. If Portland lost him, that'd be pretty disastrous to trying to keep Damian Lillard.
Yeah. So he's on 20 million right now. They
should have kept him in the first place.
Yeah. So he's on 20 million right now. It was said that his original asking price from Detroit was 25 million because he actually liked it in Detroit. And then it was said as soon as he got to Portland, he was like looking for that max. Which maybe he liked it more in Detroit. I don't know how that works, but shit, he wants the max now. I guess you could always say you'd lose him. He might just walk out, and I guess that has a lot of money open for Portland to probably offer, you know, Draymond Green a max contract or something like that. But that's my theory. Is I think Draymond Green gets to Portland if Golden State can't re-sign him, which I think they'll, as you said, they'll eventually cave in. I think we kind of know that, but.